What is going on, everybody? Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm MLB Best Ball live stream. I'm Howard Bender. With me, of course, Colby Conway, and we are about to embark on another 10-team, 28 round, something like that, 26 round MLB Best Ball draft with our friends over at RTSports.com. It is a 10-team points league based, and the draft board's behind us. And Colby, we did two of these together, one on the BB10s. This is our second one here on RT Sports. We took off last week. You had other obligations. How are you feeling, though? Kind of coming back into it. A lot of player movement, a lot of things that we've seen develop over the last couple of days.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind, to say the least. And over at Fantasy Alarm, I've been updating that free agent tracker. So fingers are a bit sore from typing up all of those new players that sign. Most recently with Tommy Pham going to Cincinnati. I'll be pushing him up in the draft here tonight. But no, glad to be back after a week off. And I mean, while I was there, I was still doing a little bit of drafting. I just didn't have the pleasure of live drafting with you.
Oh, well, that warms my heart. Thank you so much for saying such a sweet thing. So, when we look over here at the best ball and the points format, pitching usually tends to jump up. And what we'll do is we'll do it like last week. We'll talk you through like our picks when it's our turn to do that. In the meantime, we'll fill up the conversation with stuff about everybody else's picks. I want to give a shout out to everybody who is in the draft. I'll go through those lists in a little bit, but Juan Soto goes with the first pick. Garrett Cole goes second pick here. Pitching is all the rage in these RT Sports Best Ball drafts. Cole, do you stick with that plan?
Myself, it depends how the board will shake out, but seeing if one or two more pitchers go, I'll probably go a slightly different route. But I would expect this first round to be littered with pitchers, as we just see Walker Buehler go off. So now we got two pitchers in the top three. Depending what you do here, are we going to see 3 out of 4? Perhaps.
I feel like we are going to see 3 out of 4 here. I mean, if I let it go and don't take an ace coming back around the rest of the way, it's too many picks that go through in just this type of format. And again, there's an overall in this format as well that everybody's eligible for, 10 grand. So you got to have that stuff. But I think I'm going to take a pitcher that people aren't expecting me to take. I think everybody wants me to take Corbin Burnes, and yet there he goes, Jacob Degrom. How good did he look the other day? Oh,
very good. And it's one of the things where spring training comes out, there were concerns about what's his health going to be like. And to say he looked good, I think, is an understatement. I think your reaction kind of explains it best with him. And there's no doubting, if he stays healthy, he's SP1, and maybe in this type of format, he might be player 1. It doesn't matter. He's so good. So he definitely a good first spring start. We'll see where he goes from there, but I don't blame you there. And for him to be the third pitcher off the board too, I like that.
Yeah, I saw him the other day and I was just like, all right, here we go. Now, obviously, you've got that risk. I mean, sure, no big deal, but the upside, I mean, if you get 30 starts out of Degrom this year, I mean, I'm sorry. I think I would probably even think about looking at him over a guy like Garrett Cole. So, all right, Colby, you're on the board, and Corbin Burnes goes off next. So we got Juan Soto, Garrett Cole, Walker Buehler, Jacob Degrom. Our friend Cheyenne takes Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and then Corbin Burnes goes. Are you going pitcher?
I am not. My top player is here, so I will just go ahead and take my hitter. I'm going to take Trey Turner. In the Fantasy Alarm Discord, I'm telling people he's the top pick for me, regardless. So him, if he was still on the board, it was always going to be him at 7. I would have considered Vladdy Jr., depending on who was there. But for me, if it was Trey Turner and then probably Vladdy Jr. or a pitcher. But I'm super stoked that Trey Turner falls to 7, and that gives me a nice boost right away across all 5 categories. And even though this is points-based, Trey Turner does it all. So I'll be getting points from every direction.
Points in every direction. Yeah, listen, I mean, I'm not going to argue against Trey Turner. I just, I mean, yeah, you're talking about basically there's like the elite group. I'm doing I'm doing a head-to-head points league with Michael Fabiano. He invited me into his his league. And, and everybody, like the whole first half just like took all the pitching, like, and then the second half of the draft took all the elite hitters that were left. So it's kind of funny from like a seasonal standpoint, you see the complete reverse there. So, listen, I mean, you have to go with where the scoring is going to take you. And, you can go over to fantasyalarm.com, go look at our custom scoring. You can, for any points league. I have to mention this as we're going through, because I mentioned this on the radio, and I got to make sure that everybody who's listening here also knows the cheat sheet, the ultimate cheat sheet at Fantasy Alarm. That's for rotisserie baseball or head-to-head categories. Points leagues, totally different story. You can't really do it because everybody's got different ideas of points for this or points for that. And, some score for total bases and some score for hits and everything like that. You go to fantasyalarm.com and you use our custom scoring. All right. It's in the MLB tools, and you just input your scoring, and that's going to give you, against our projections, total points for everybody. And that's your ranking system right there. So keep that in mind. The cheat sheet strictly for roto and head-to-head categories, points leagues, use the custom scoring. So got to make sure I say that. All right, Colby, here we go. You're going to be up in a little bit. More pitching off the board: Robbie Ray, Brandon Woodruff, Max Scherzer. Do you zig when you're supposed to, when everybody else is zagging? Or are you going to load up on the bats?
I think we're going to go ahead with the bats here, and I'm going to hope what I heard on Sirius XM recently, maybe yesterday or the day before, April 21st. That's the day I'm looking for. Get Acuna DHing, stay healthy. We'll see him in the outfield in a month. And I'm just going to go ahead, load up on 2 bats, and everyone's going to come back and get their bats. And I'm going to hope that the pitchers that I like kind of after this top echelon or 2 of starters, the guys that I like there are going to pay off. Like I'm really drafting them, like I'm hoping they will. So we're going to zig a little bit while it's others zag.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's what the board gives you. It's also that, and your scoring. And you look at like the stack of pitchers who are available right now. I mean, Zach Wheeler's got the shoulder problem. And, we're looking through the queue here. These aren't my rankings, but, when people start looking at the website, you got Zach Wheeler and Julio Urias, Lucas Giolito, Aaron Nola, Sandy Alcantara. It's still a good solid group of guys, but is there very much differential from them and say the Max Frieds and Lance Lynn's and Jose Barrios's who are coming in afterwards? Like I'm sitting here right now and I'm like, damn, do I pair up Jacob Degrom with another starting pitcher, or, because I've got this early pick? I mean, it's almost impossible, dude, to let Bo Bichette go any further than this right now. Second round, 7th pick. Like that, scoring aside, I mean, it's a points league. Bo Bichette's getting you mad points.
Well, he does it across the board. Good lineup, that shortstop as well. So he was the one I was almost kind of hoping the person before me would have took Bichette, and I wasn't really put in a pickle there between Bichette and Acuna Jr., but already had Turner. So we'll just go ahead and take Acuna there. But I don't know. I know it's points based, so I know it's a little bit different, but I don't know if I've ever seen Bichette slip that far.
I've never seen him slip that far, even in a points league. And I've done a billion of these. Well, maybe not a billion, because $20 times a billion is 20 billion. And I don't have $20 billion. If I had $20 billion, I wouldn't be here right now on a live stream on a Thursday night.
You don't know that.
No, really. No, I do know for the fact that if I had $1 billion, forget 20 billion. If I had $1 billion, there's zero chance that I would be here right now.
You would just be doing you'd be doing a best ball draft. You just wouldn't be on camera doing it. You would just have multiple. You got your phone, iPad, computer here, and just going probably while you're at a bar that you reserved out for yourself and paid them double for it, and TVs and everything. So that's probably what you'd be doing.
I'm sorry. The reception on this yacht in the middle of the Mediterranean gets horrible reception here. It's terrible.
Someone sold you a bad yacht, because every yacht that I have seen or heard, they get amazing reception. So
I specifically want zero reception when I'm on my yacht. All right. Zero.
That's fair. I mean, but still, then you probably set up your queue. You're on auto draft while you're away, because you can't truly step away. So
Might be debatable, Colby. I'm not gonna lie to you.
We'll see. I guess I know if we're ever in a best ball and somehow you end up with a share of a certain Minnesota outfielder, I'll definitely know that you were not paying attention and you probably got your yacht.
Zero chance in a best ball do I ever think about taking, Byron Buxton. I can't do that, Colby. Come on, man. In a best ball format.
But if you're on a yacht and you can't get, there's this horrible reception that you're talking about, you're not going to be able to make that pick.
Look at that. The person right in front of me took Sandy Alcantara. He's my boy. I love Sandy. Well, that's kind of a bummer. That's a bit of a bummer for me. But that's all right. I'm just going to keep rolling with some pitching here. Gonna take a little Max Fried, pair him up with Degrom. I'm probably, I'm going to end up doing what like Giddy Up is doing right now. And then maybe also in the Funky Butt Lovin' over in the wheel, who took a pair of starters there. We're going to see a bunch of people taking a bunch of starters here early. This is just what the format dictates. That's just, the way it goes with that. I think we're pretty much the same as far as the BB10s went also, right?
Yeah, it was pretty pitching heavy early. And you get your points. It's what it comes down to. And of course, I'm talking about how it's smart to take pitching in the beginning, and I'm probably not going to take a pitcher again here. So I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm just taking all these great hitters that are falling.
You and Shy, right? She's got Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Mookie Betts, and Rafael Devers. Dude, listen, if this were a head-to-head categories league, or if this were a roto league, that's insane. That's insane. When I took the in the other best ball, it's actually not a best ball, the other head-to-head points league that I'm doing, which isn't a best ball. I've kind of been doing that also. Everybody's like leaving me a bunch of hitters. So I'm grabbing the hitters, right? I'm grabbing the hitters and I'm feeling good. I don't mean to step on your toes here, Colby. Who are you taking?
We're going to go Matt Olson. Get our first baseman, good power, new park.
Oh, I love him.
I did the trade piece. It's up on Fantasy Alarm. You can check it out, breakdown of the trade. And I don't even know where to project his numbers in that new park. Lefty power in Truist Park, good lineup around him, better than the hogwash of a lineup that Oakland's going to put forth here in 2022. So I don't even know where to project Olson. I have no clue, but I'm thinking 40 plus bombs this year. It's going to be career year for him.
Oh, you win somewhere around here. Colby bet me $20. I said he couldn't slide the word hogwash into a sentence on this live stream, and lo and behold, I lose. So now I got to pay Colby's entrance fee for this stupid thing. Great.
Thanks. Third round's a little slower than I thought. I thought I'd be able to work it in earlier, but just didn't happen. I'll take third round. It's not too bad.
The whole thing is hogwash right now. Hogwash.
There you go.
All right, well, time to see what's going on. So here we go. Psychedelic B, all starters. Giddy Up, all starters. Does the Funky Butt Lovin' go all starters again here? I think they probably will. Yep, Justin Verlander.
Do they go a fourth?
Do they? That should be interesting. What do you think?
I'm kind of hoping not. I would love for one of these guys to fall. Oh, a catcher. Okay.
Really? Sal Perez. What do you think? Talk to me. What do you think about Sal Perez? I know. Well, you know what? Well, you can tell me what you think about Sal Perez on the other side of your pick, because my question is he's such a big dude, right? Like, and he's dealt with injuries behind the plate before, so it makes me nervous. But talk us through your next pick here, and then talk to me about Sal Perez.
Yeah, so I'm thinking here. I do like both Machado and Ozzie Albies, so they're pretty hot in consideration also, because I know the last draft we did when I waited at third base, I think you did too, we both got screwed pretty royally.
It was a hard
third base is pretty, let's say, not deep. So I'm leaning Machado here because I'm not in love with any of these pitchers that are here, like Kevin Gossman, Logan Webb, Joe Musgrove. I like them, sure, not in love with them here. So I think I'm going to take a fourth hitter, and we're going to go with Manny Machado. So back to the Sal Perez pick. I was writing the catchers that I think will disappoint in 2022 over at Fantasy Alarm. And one of the first names I wrote was Sal Perez. and I started writing about it, and I was like, all right, some of it's sustainable, some of it's not. It's a lot of what ifs with him. Is he going to play that many games again? Not many guys get more durable as they get older, especially at a position that is just absolutely brutal physically. So I'm concerned about that. I believe it was the second half, his home run rate was ridiculous. The fly ball rate was up. Homer to fly ball rate was up. If that just falls back to his first half numbers, he's a guy in the mid to upper 30s. Still very good for the position. I'm also very well documented in liking Wilson Contreras this year, so I'll wait 2 or 3 rounds and take Contreras compared to Perez here, and in this case, the 4th.
All right. I like it. Cheyenne pulls Josh Hader off the board. She gets that elite level closer. There's one hit there is definitely one hitter who I seriously covet. And I think I will probably wait on him this time because I feel like I can actually get him, a little later on here. I want to keep going with the pitching here. And I'm a little torn here between either Musgrove or Logan Webb. Oh, I don't have time to even debate this anymore, so I'll just take Musgrove. Hello.
Hey, he was. If I were going to take one there, if it weren't Machado, it would have been Musgrove of those 3. I don't mind Gossman. I don't like him in the AL East. Hopefully that splitter keeps inducing grounders.
East, right?
If that splitter does not induce ground balls, he's in trouble. I mean, let's point blank. He's in trouble. And, I'm pretty confident in saying he won't be as bad as his first stint in the American League East, but I don't expect him carrying over the success from last year.
I don't see him carrying over the success from last year either. I really don't. And, listen, I mean, I'm not saying that he's going to, sit there with like a 5 ERA, but it's not going to be the numbers that you're paying for right now. I think you're definitely better off getting a guy like Musgrove. Logan Webb is kind of an interesting one for me. I don't really know if I believe Logan Webb. I really don't. And that's, he had a great season last year. I don't know. Do you believe in Logan Webb?
He's the shares of him that I have are more that I've waited a bit on pitching, and he's happened to fall. And I kind of got him. I don't think there's been many times where I've been jumping for joy to really get him. I don't really actively pursue him. I like the home park, decent defense behind him, and they should put up enough runs to be okay. But I don't necessarily draft him. It's almost as if the board kind of puts him on my team, if you kind of catch my drift.
You settle for him. He's not a target.
Exactly. I'm not racing to hit the draft button. It's like, all right, click, think about it. Are you sure? Look again at the pitchers. All right, I guess he's not bad. And then I talk myself into liking him. So that's kind of the whole process behind it.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. All right, so Wander Franco. So I take Chris Bryant, who I love in Colorado, dude. I love him in Colorado, and he's got multi-position eligibility here to boot. So I can't argue against that, but here you go. Are you going to take your first pitcher yet, Colby? This is your 5th pick right now.
Yeah. Well, about 3 weeks ago, I've been sprinting to take Jack Flaherty, and now I can't do that.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Or even or Chris Sale, I would have been okay with. I think. Yeah, I'm going to wait a second. I think he might make it one more round.
Ooh.
Which, of course, that means he won't. Actually, no, I'll push him up. I'm going to take one of your guys that you like.
Why? Why you got to be like that?
I'm going to take Shane McClanahan.
Oh, I do like Shane McClanahan.
Hopefully, just let him throw more than 5 innings. Please, just let him do it. He can do it. There's enough talent, and he's a Tampa Bay pitcher, so we're going to like him just kind of inherently because of that, because they work magic with those guys. But he's poised for a big jump here this season. And as my ace, it's a little risky, especially some of the other guys. I put him up, but like I said, if all things were equal, health considering, I would have taken Jack Flaherty. Can't do that now, so I'll go ahead and take Shane McClanahan, who's like probably one of my favorite arms in this tier or this echelon of starters.
You know who's been creeping up the boards lately, but not really as much here on RT Sports, which I find very, very interesting.
Who is that?
It's our boy, right? It's Logan Gilbert. He's not really still, like I'm looking at like Logan Gilbert and like where he is in the rankings here. He's got ahead of him Noah Syndergaard, Sonny Gray, Clevenger, who hasn't thrown in how long. And I love Clevenger, right? But I mean, I gotta tell you, man, did you watch Logan Gilbert pitch today?
What was it, six Ks over 3? Was that what it was?
It was like it got me all like warm and fuzzy inside, and I was just
it just, all I heard was that it's going to be even harder to get him now. That's all that I heard watching the clips on Twitter and looking at the box score. I was like, you know what, there's people who are just going to see 6 Ks over 3 and they're going to push him up because of that, and then they're going to watch it and push him up even farther. So I mean, I already thought I was pushing him up to begin with, and now I'm gonna have to push him up even more than what I thought I was doing. But you know what? He's going to be worth it, and he's in my queue here now. So it's going to be which one between you and I pulls the trigger first.
All right, or somebody actually like listening in right now who's like, "Oh, all right, Logan Gilbert." You know who else is gonna command a little bit of an increase in the overall is Carlos Rodon, who threw today for San Francisco and looked spectacular as well. I mean, the shoulder is obviously a lingering concern, but if he stays healthy, all things being equal there, Rodon is in a very interesting spot.
Yeah, but I think he hit 98 today too, which is good for the velo. I mean, it doesn't matter how hard he throws. The shoulder concerns are going to be there, but he now gets a good park, good defense behind him. He's in line for a real good year. Shoot, now you got me thinking if I should just take him here because he's in my queue.
Listen, spectacular reach, right? If when you're writing it up, it's a great thing to talk about of taking that, making that play and doesn't that. But I don't know. What do you think? I mean, listen,
we're gonna do it.
If you do it, hang him out there, baby. Hang him out there.
We do it. Cause looking at some of these guys here, Flaherty's banged up. He's gonna start late. Sale's got a stress fracture in the rib. He's gonna start late. I do like Trevor Rogers, so for what that's worth. But when you look at some of these,
Rodon, I thought you were gonna take Gilbert. You suck.
Oh
dude.
no, not Gilbert. No, we're getting there. And like Blake Snell, Clayton Kershaw, Chris Bassett, those are all guys in the queue here that are ahead of him. If I have to bet on any of them being an SP1 at the end of the year, I mean, health willing, it's Rodon. He's filthy. So we'll take the chance there. And I think at this point, I'll get some boring arms to kind of round out this pitching staff. But right now, I got to target upside because I'm basically trying to make SP1s out of SP 2.5s right now.
Yeah. No, I get that. But I mean, listen, I think that, pitching, you can do that in a number of different spots, right? You can always find somebody. Now it's tough here in a best ball. And the reason that the pitching gets so pushed up here is because this format it favors the high end pitching. It favors the guys who go deeper into games. It favors the guys who don't give up a lot of hits or walks. You could definitely find that, but like if later on in drafts, if you're doing that, if you're seeking that out later in drafts, if you're in a seasonal league, you're like, all right, well, let me take a shot on these 3 arms if one of them pans out. But when you're sitting there in the best ball format, it's a lot tougher to do that. So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Ooh. I might just say screw you and take Gilbert now. I won't, though.
We're getting close, though. We're getting close to Gilbert time. We're getting real close.
Yeah, we are. Well, let's see what Black Caviar takes in there. I've got my guy already in the queue who I'm ready to take, so we'll see what happens. He takes Altuve. I'll take Liam Hendricks. Listen, he's the number 2 closer. Some call him the number 1 closer. I think Hader's the number 1 closer, but some people put Liam Hendricks in that spot. So, getting that relief pitching arm here. I mean, I love what my pitching staff looks like, and I think it's built nicely for the overall. And now I'll probably, end up attacking some hitters here to pair with Bo Bichette and Chris Bryant. Yes, I'm in.
It's a good start too. And there's still a lot of really good hitters. I just started going through some of these names here, adding players to my queue, and it's one pitcher, and then hitter, 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 hitter. So all I'm really doing is accentuating my offense now when it comes up to my pick here. But you're going to have a really well balanced lineup there, and then you've already got some good pitchers there to boot, including a closer. And I think the value with Hendricks is really good. Because look where Hader went, and say he's the closer 1, and you got the closer 2, you got him nearly 3 rounds later. So I love the value there too.
Yeah, I was surprised that Cheyenne took Aroldis Chapman with her as her second closer there in round 6. I definitely, if I was going closer there, I definitely would have gone with Liam Hendricks. Maybe she thought Hendricks would come back to her, because she took Ryan Presley right after I took Hendricks, but we'll see. All right, Turner, Acuna, Olsen, Machado, McClanahan, and Rodon. I love that pairing of pitchers. Where are you going?
I'm actually going to go with the guy I wasn't really in on probably as much as I should have been until you kind of started talking about him and you got me kind of turned on to him here. That's going to be Eloy Jimenez. Big time power, stay healthy, give me a lot of power, aka a lot of points here in these points formats. So if he stays healthy, he's in a good lineup. He's in line for a career year. So add him to Acuna, Machado, Turner, and Olsen. And then we're starting to get into this range now where we're getting into these mid-tier pitchers that I really like, that I'm going to have to go pitcher heavy and go on a pretty insane pitching run here shortly.
Yeah, Eloy slipped to I was doing another one. I was doing a slow one of these, slow draft with a 4-hour clock. And I was just, there are just certain drafts where I'm like, at some point I'm going to have to, I definitely need to keep diversifying when I do these. So I was like, I've got a pretty good share, shares of Eloy. So let me just kind of back off a little bit. It got to the 11th round, dude. And I was like, seriously, how is nobody grabbing Eloy? And I checked the news 5 times to see if I was missing something. I was like, did I miss another injury for him? I have no idea. The disrespect that's being shown to Eloy Jimenez. I tell you, man, I tell you.
And I don't even mind pushing him up a little bit too. Like I said, good power, good lineup, and just the injury last year kind of derailed things. But boy, when he's healthy, there's not many folks in the MLB that make more consistent hard contact than that guy. So I'll take my chances there. And I mean, the power is there. Even as long as he's healthy for the full year, his floor is probably 25 home runs, and that's probably pretty conservative as a floor. And we don't know where the upside is. We haven't seen it yet. So over a full season, I'll take the chances here in the 7th and add to an already impressive lineup.
All right. Damn.
Oh, that one hurts.
Really? You were going to go closer there?
No, I love Rizal. So I was, yep. But here, I talked about him earlier that I liked him. It was between Trevor Rogers and Rodon when I made my pick earlier, and Rogers actually made it 2 more rounds. So I'm good with Rogers there. He's a good SP3 or really 2 on this team, depending where he shakes out. Strikeouts are good. Miami added Soler. So hopefully Soler and Jazz Chisholm Jr. can really steady that offense and just give him just enough run support to get some wins for me. But even if not, he should be a good ratio booster and provide plus strikeouts.
Yeah, I like that call. I definitely like that call. All right, now I got to see where Cheyenne's going to go here with her pick. I've got a guy who, I don't necessarily know. I think we've had this conversation before about whether or not to take him. So, and it's up to me, and I'm not going to take him here. I like Cedric Mullins. I really do. I just don't know if, how he comes to repeating. Who I do like here, who I'm going to grab a little early on the side is Nick Castellanos, right? I mean, I'll take the power hitter in Philadelphia, although I'm kind of down on him in a personal way. Did you hear what he said? Did you hear him talking about when he said that he's so excited to finally play meaningful games, with the Phillies? And I was like, wait a minute, dude. The Reds finished with a better record than the Phillies last year, right? They had a better shot at making the playoffs than the Phillies did last year. So what is it really like? Are you saying that you and Schwarber are the ultimate missing pieces of the puzzle here? Are you sure that, maybe the bullpen doesn't need some help, or, maybe the fact that the team defense absolutely blows. But for him to come out and say that, I was just like, that kind of sucks, dude. It kind of sucks. It's not a way to go out on your team like that either. And then I did the old, and Nick Castellanos hits a high fly ball to left for a home run.
Yeah, he fantasy wise, rather ballpark dependent, like where he landed was going to be a big factor for his fantasy value in 2022. So luckily he went to Philly, and he also, I don't know what he's been on this offseason, but he's also talking about he's not even worried about Degrom and Scherzer. He's more worried about where the best cheesesteaks are in Philly. So this guy seems just like a off the wall kind of dude. So it's always interesting when he starts talking.
It is a little on the interesting side when he starts talking, although I don't know if I can buy into it completely. Just not sure. All right, trying to figure out where I'm going to go here. I love there's so much offense still on the board here that I feel like, let me go with another high-end closer. I'll take Edwin Diaz. I'll just lock down the two relief pitchers here. They both probably have, one of the better job securities, him and Hendricks. So I kind of, you kind of don't have to worry about that. I don't need to be fishing in the David Bednars and, Camila Dovals out here. That rounds out a pitching staff. You don't build off of it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's one of those things Matt Sells and I talked about on the podcast. It's like David Bednar has a place in fantasy because he's going to close for a team. And if Pittsburgh is winning, it's sure as hell not going to be by a lot. So there's probably going to be save opportunities to be had. But even he's a closer, a pitcher at a rather weak position after the top tier guys. And you're not even excited to draft him. He's one that falls to you and it's like, oh, he's a closer. I need saves. Mm-hmm. And probably what's going to happen, knowing Pittsburgh, is if he does have a good part to the year, enjoy your half season of saves and they're going to ship him right out. That's their MO with relievers. They've done it. It seems like every year for the past couple of years, and their payroll is like -$2. That's what they're willing to spend on people. So nothing new in Pittsburgh.
Nothing new in Pittsburgh. All right. Where are you going here, Colby, with your next pick?
I do like a lot of hitters here. But I think I'm going to go ahead and let's take some strikeouts here. Let's go with Tyler Mahle. Home park's a bit of a concern, but there's strikeouts. He's going to get innings. I don't really care. I believe he's starting opening day for them. I don't really care about that designation. Doesn't mean anything. But even if he's a upper 3 ERA guy, even if he can just replicate what he did last year, that'll be good enough. And he'll be a steady starter on the team. Again, that I went upside early. Now I kind of got to round it out with a little bit more steady guys. And I truly think Mahle falls in just that steady, consistent territory.
Yeah. The one thing that I tell you what, though, when, you get that opening day nod, then you fall into the same cycle that all the other number ones start facing. So now all of a sudden you're going up against, somebody just took your boy Byron Buxton.
Yeah. He was in the queue.
Are you okay? You need a hug?
I mean, I know we can't roll it back.
Reach across here and give you a big squeeze.
I think that was what this team was missing. I should have took him over Mahle, but hey, you live and you learn. Maybe I'll just get second place now in the championship.
I don't know if you are.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know if you are. I worry about you now. Now I worry about you because now where are you going to go with your next pick here? Right? Are you going to stay with the pitching?
I think we might deviate for a round. Boy, I wonder how low Tatis is going to go.
Yeah, so you're in with Tatis missing the first 3 months and still also coming back and trying to build up that power.
Oh, I'm not picking him.
Okay,
not yet. No. Too much risk. Not for me. I talked about in the podcast too. I don't like wrist injuries. I do not like anything with a hand for an offensive player that needs power. I don't like it. It doesn't work well. And when they come back, they're not healthy. They're able to play. They're not healthy. Two totally different things. But now with this pick, I do like a lot of bats here as well. Kind of like what you said. I'll go ahead and take another Cincinnati Red. We'll go with Jonathan India.
Oh, yanked him right out of my queue, buddy.
Yep.
Yanked him right out of my queue.
He's one I haven't gotten a lot, and I really wish I have because I do like him in that park, and he's looked good so far this spring. And sure, the Reds have lost some pieces in that line, but they've added enough back to it to be okay. And at the very least, if they lack top end quality, they have just a wealth of hitters that they can put in there. Sure, maybe not as great as some of the guys they lost, but he should be just fine. He'll atop that lineup, and he should build off last year. And I mean, where can he go? Can we get to 2015? Can we get to 25-15? It's a good home park.
Dude, I'm a big fan. There's no doubt about it. I'm a big fan of Jonathan India. I'm trying to land. I was hoping that he would slip, because if I could get India and Bo Bichette on the same team, I mean, I already have, my Bo Bichette doll with the brushable hair. So I probably could have gotten the Jonathan India doll with like the pomade, so I could like make it all greasy and gross like that. All right, I'm going to stay back with the offense, or go back to the offense here. I'm just going to grab a first baseman while I can. And I know that, the power that I'm going to get out of Jose Abreu. Is he in the decline? Yeah, probably, but not to the point where I'm like worried that he's not going to be able to hit 30 home runs. And with the way that White Sox lineup is shaping up, and he'll have a healthy Eloy there now. I love the consistency that you get out of a Jose Abreu. So I'm good with that one there. Good solid power, and he just puts up a lot of points in this format.
It's a lot of times in points format, it's home runs and strikeouts. Home runs for the hitters, strikeouts for the pitchers. And Abreu hasn't slowed down. He's just not going to stop. There's like you said, there's so many pieces around him. I mean, it's not rare you find guys with floors. I want to say 30 bombs and 100 RBIs, but I'll be safe and say 25 and 100 outside of the top. We're getting close to 100 or so now. So I like that pick. And sure, he's not flashy, but you don't have to have the flashiest team to win. Sometimes those steady, consistent guys I kind of talked about, the arms that I'm looking at, are just, sometimes exactly what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, that they are exactly what the doctor ordered. You just slipped that one in there too, with a hogwash too. Are you you're in a retro phase right now, huh?
I'm just hitting all the cliches, checking all the boxes,
checking all the
cliches, crossing
boxes,
T's,
yeah.
Shaking hands, kissing babies. You know how it goes, rubbing elbows. All the cliches.
Hobnobbing with the upper crust.
That's right.
All right, where do I go with my next pick here? This is going to be an interesting one. Looking at some of the names there, I see a lot of offensive names that I definitely dig. Man, these rankings are like off for me. They really are. I don't know what to do about it. You know what I'm going to do there? I'm going to go. Here's a guy. This could probably be shooting myself in the foot here, but it's the 11th round, right? The 11th round. I never draft this guy. Never. I haven't drafted him since he was a Florida Marlin. That's how long it's been since I've drafted Giancarlo Stanton.
Yeah, I don't have many shares of him either. So I am right there with you. But hey, stays healthy, power numbers here in theory. But there's so many question marks with that guy.
Who stands a better chance of staying healthy, Giancarlo Stanton or Byron Buxton?
If I had more faith in the chefs in Minnesota, I would be really inclined to say.
You're really running down this steakhouse, right? Come on, think about it there, though. What kind of steakhouse are you going to that serves you a well-done steak that apparently has a knuckle growing out of it that you bit into it and you broke your tooth?
I can't speak for other people's actions. I don't know what vendetta. Maybe someone drafted him high and they wanted they wanted to, instead of just tweeting at him, like most people do, they decided to take matters into their own hands.
serve him a knuckle.
Yeah.
And tell him it was a steak. Unbelievable. Ugh. All right, where are you going with your pick here? Let's look at the draft board here. Colby Conway, you went back to the hitting this past time with India. You got Molly, Rogers, Rodon, McClanahan. I love your offense, dude. Turner, Acuna, Olsen, and Machado. That's just insane.
Yeah, I would love to add to it, but there's a pitcher. I don't have enough shares of him. I think I only have him in like 85% of drafts that I've done. So it's not quite high enough, but this should boost it up. We're going to take Logan Gilbert.
Oh, you're going to do it now, are you?
Yep.
Son of a. Just trying to ruin my day, aren't you? Just trying to ruin my day.
I didn't get him last time, and I want to make sure I got him here. And who knows? We talked. I think we were talking with Logan Gilbert the last time we did a live stream about how perhaps the next time we did it, he'd be going many, many rounds earlier, depending on how things shook out. And dare I say, by the next time we do this, is he getting drafted in the single-digit rounds? Perhaps, if he looks as damn good as he did today.
Well, that's always the concern right there, because the public, they drive the price up when they see stuff like that. I almost want him to get tattooed his next outing, right? Like, I always seriously, like, there are pitchers out there who I absolutely love, who I just sit there and pray that they just get destroyed in spring training. Like, and it doesn't have to be like a consistent like pummeling, because that'll screw with their psyche. But like one of those outings where, they're like, oh, I'm just going to try and throw my change up and see if I can work that. And they give up like 7 runs in like, 3 innings. Yep. Right. And the manager just leaves him in there because he's just throwing change ups and that's all he's throwing. But people don't understand. They're not looking at what he's pitching. They're just like, wow, you see him just get destroyed. Like, that's what I want that for Logan Gilbert this spring. I want that for Logan Gilbert. I want it for Carlos Rodon too. I want Carlos Rodon to have like some shoulder tendonitis or something.
Oh,
nothing major. Just, like, oh, there's a little bit of soreness there. Give me some Ben Gay and rub that on there.
Yeah. I almost prefer like if you play like in a league with a bunch of like box score watchers, as I call them, and maybe you get something where he goes like 2 1/3 with like 4 hits, 1 walk, maybe only 2 strikeouts or something, lets up 2 earned runs, and you don't see the game at all. And all 4 hits are these little bloop shots to right field to just sneak over the second baseman's glove. He didn't allow any hard contact. That would be, I mean, sure, get tattooed if you want to, but I'll just generate weak contact and, don't mess with that psyche before you head into the season, win double-digit games and put up 200 strikeouts this season. That would be nice. That'd be really nice.
I was like just thinking about those numbers there for a second. I'm like, let me dry my tears here for a second, because that would be awesome. That would be.
It really would be.
You're on the clock.
Right. I think I took this guy last time too, where I just missed out on him, but I'm gonna hope that the health comes back. And he's too young to be having so many damn back problems. But let's go Christian Yelich. Hopefully he stays healthy. I like that Milwaukee lineup a lot. I always find myself with a lot of like pieces later on. One that I know you're super in on, that it's going to be a rush for him as well. And like even Tyrone Taylor super late. So just put all the Bengay that you need on that back, Mr. Yelich, and just let's stay healthy this year, and let's not hit the ball into the ground a lot too. Loft the ball.
It's not going to happen for him. You know what? Listen, I love Christian Yelich as well. I think what happened was he and Pete Davidson met up, and like Davidson touched Yelich, and like the Monstars and Space Jam like absorbed Yelich's mojo, which is now why he's like hanging out with Kim Kardashian. Right? Like I think that's what
I don't think they're just
happened
hanging out. I don't think they're just hanging out, Howard.
Well, something's hanging out, I'll tell you that. All right, I'm going to be on the clock here. Where am I going to go? So I'm obviously not going to be going for the illustrious Logan Gilbert right now.
Mm-hmm.
Huge bummer. But I feel like I'm going to go back to a starter here. I'm going to go back to here's a guy who he's on the mend, has the upside, and it gives me another tasty Yankee, and it's Luis Severino. He looks good this spring. I'm not saying that he looked like Rodon or Gilbert did today, but he's looked solid this spring, and I think that we can get a nice little comeback for Severino. He definitely does it for me. I think this is a nice play.
And his velo looked good too in his most recent outing. And the one thing that I asked Matt Sells this on the Fantasy Alarm MLB podcast. So I'm curious what your thought of it was, but for them to say that he was the most ready of the starters is very interesting. Now I understand that rotation has Jamison Tyon, who's perennially injured, so that one always hurts.
Didn't
And
he have
Garrett
like
Cole's
ankle
there.
surgery like yesterday again or something like
Yeah,
that?
he's
Like a recent ankle problem.
It's tough for him, but Severino is a guy that I was definitely looking to target. Then they come out and say that he's the most ready of these starters. Then he comes out and throws 98, 99 and just light up the gun. So I'm worried I'm going to get priced out of Severino. I really am, but I do like him a lot.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I tried going after him in AL Tout Wars and I didn't get him, but so I settled on Jordan Montgomery, who's like quietly the number 2 there in New York.
Yeah, and he's arguably one of the more healthy ones that they have outside of Garrett Cole. Montgomery's he's like the safe and steady one of that rotation. He's the one that's always there. And hey, another cliche, but best ability is availability. That's what they always say.
Well, I mean, that was like the whole thing. I'm going to go Tyler Stevenson here, by the way, because it's best ball and, he's at catcher. And, if something happens to Abreu, I'll have the possibility there. He could end up as my first baseman at some point. I think he's actually got some like really good power ahead of him for sure. Wait, who were we just talking about? We were just talking about
Montgomery.
We're talking about. Oh yeah. I don't think it's before your time, but there was a number 2 on the Yankees team who was like that, a lefty as well, who was just all about making those clutch starts when you needed them, like an Andy Pettitte. I don't know. Do you remember who Andy Pettitte was?
Yeah, he picked off every runner they got on first base.
He did pick off he had a great pickoff move without a doubt. But he was nice and consistent.
Mm-hmm.
And he just, when you needed him, when you needed a big start, he was always there. And, and the aces came and went, right? Like you had Roger Clemens there at some point, or, who was some of the other imports that they brought in, right? I'm trying to think of like over the time where they've brought in like, the big name free agent pitcher, and Andy Pettitte just, old reliable, just sitting there. I kind of feel like Jordan Montgomery is in that category.
Yep. It seemed there's a lot of parallels. And I do think a lot of people just make the easy assumption and be like, oh, so he's a lefty without overpowering stuff, wearing the pinstripes. Oh, he's the new age Andy Pettitte. And honestly, that'd be a great comparison. If he has that career trajectory, Yankees would love that.
Yeah. Hell yeah. All right. Positions that you're short on right now or where you're looking for. I've got to fill second base still. I was just looking over there and then obviously building my bench, but I tell you, man, second base in a points league format does not look pretty at all. I mean, the rankings here are pointing me towards Tommy Edman, but can I really get behind Tommy Edman over here? I don't know if I can.
Tougher in points, much tougher in points leagues. That is, it's tough to get behind him, but I love him in Roto this year. I'm super excited, mainly for what he does in fantasy's most fickle category offensively in terms of stolen bases, but it's hard to trust him in points-based leagues.
Yeah. I don't know if I can go for him. Jazz Chisholm's another guy, right? I love Chisholm, but in a points league, it just doesn't play as much. I don't have to, you don't have to worry about the speed. So I think that's an important thing to always remember. And I think a lot of people kind of like lose sight of that. Oh, dude, for the last couple of days, I've just been hounding the whole know your league rules thing because I've been doing a bunch of these best ball drafts with people who just don't read the rules. Right. And it's like, dude, it's head-to-head points, right? It's a points league. It's not a roto league. It's a points league. And people are like, oh, I got to get my speed. No, you really don't. You just need people who are going to score points. And that's top starting pitching, high-end closers, big power hitters.
Yep, exactly that. And that's why I'm probably going to go here. Probably need another first base outfielder. That's nice. I'll go with Jared Walsh. I like him in the middle of that LA lineup. And yeah, he's got some splits issues, but they're going to play him every day anyway because they need his bat in the lineup. So 14th round, he's a fine play for 25 plus bombs and a decent batting average.
He's a fine play. Absolutely. All right. I know who I'm going with next. So we'll see what happens over the next two picks. Mountcastle was not my choice. Now, if there's anybody who knows players who I like, it's Cheyenne, right? She was just catching up on old shows today. So she probably knows pitchers and the hitters who I like the most. So I'm very curious to see where she goes right now, if she's listening to this broadcast, because we'll just have to wait and see. She goes Giovanni Gallegos. She loves her relief pitchers.
She actually, depending what you want to count Nestor Cortez as, if you want to say he's a starter, she is one starter.
Shy, you need more starters.
I thought I was being a little bit fickle on starters, but she's taking it to a whole nother level.
Here you go. You ready for this one here?
I sure am.
Boom.
Your guy.
My guy. I love him so much. Looked great today, too. Or was it yesterday? Can't remember. I just looked fantastic. Again, we talked about him. They brought his old pitching coach over, his assistant pitching coach from Cleveland. I'm telling you, yeah, damn, him and Musgrove, right? A nice little 1-2 punch there for the Padres.
And a lot of the Padres pitching coaches and pitching just gurus over there are getting a lot of buzz because like Denilson Lamet's slider looks good here in spring. And if they're working on stuff and they got stuff working there, that's a good rotation to have a part of. They've loaded up that pitching staff for a reason because that's where they want to go with. And without Tatis, they're going to need some good performances on the mound. And Clevenger, it's weird to say that he's almost the forgotten guy, but just because he got hurt, everyone's kind of not really on him. But I would not be surprised if, I don't know if he'll outproduce Musgrove this year. It's certainly very well possible, but I probably wouldn't be surprised if at the end of the year, if Clevenger is probably the most lucrative fantasy arm from that Padres staff. It's easily in the realm of possibilities. If he dials back where he was before, strikeouts are there, he's got good enough offense behind him, he could be that team's SP1 from a fantasy perspective easily.
Yeah, I mean, God, that rotation, let me just go to it here because right now you're sitting on Musgrove, Darvish, Snell, Clevenger, and then you've got your back end of Lamet and Paddock. Remember when Chris Paddock was supposed to be somebody? He was supposed to be like this ridiculously amazing ace-like pitcher. Where did he go? What happened?
Two pitch starters don't last long.
They don't.
And that curveball has not quite gotten to where it needed to be. It's basically a third pitch, and that's about it. It's fine. It hasn't developed from there, and he hasn't added a fourth option. He's literally just fastball changeup. That's what he is.
Yeah. Well, there's the Adalberto Mondesi auto pick here for Mac Attack. Mondesi in a points league. Oh my God. So absolutely hysterical stuff. I'm going to tell you that I'm going to take Ty France here real quick because he qualifies over at second. And I was told by Jerry DePoto actually on the Fantasy Alarm show the other day that Ty France is locked in as his first baseman. He will not platoon. He won't share the role. He's his guy. And the fact that he qualifies at second makes me smile even more.
He should be.
Yeah, he definitely should be. I'll let you make your pick, and then I'll tell you. Talk us through your pick, and then I'll tell you the Adalberto Mondesi story that I absolutely love.
Yeah, I'm thinking here, looking at it, there's some guys down there that I do like a little bit, including one starter, but I'm going to wait on him. I think I'm going to push up a catcher that I really like because I didn't quite get my top target in Wilson Contreras. So Varsho went. He was not the one I was looking for, fortunately. I'm going to go ahead and take Texas's newest backstop in Mitch Garver and play for power. And hopefully that average can just be somewhere around 250. I'll take it, but I'm not really concerned with him going to Texas. He has enough raw power. He's going to be just fine. So Garver's a nice power bat behind the dish that I like. I know a lot of people are going to go to Gary Sanchez. He's one that I said is going to disappoint. So I would much rather have Garver over Sanchez, even though the latter was still available.
Yeah, I kind of feel a very similar fashion there. I do. I definitely do. I mean, listen, Gary Sanchez is always a definite threat to to do some serious damage. But, I mean, the on-base work, the plate discipline, it sucks. And, at Minnesota, I mean, they're going to need to DH him a little bit more once they realize that his defense just absolutely is atrocious and that these Twins pitchers aren't going to want to throw to him. Like, that was a big deal in New York. They just didn't want to throw to Sanchez. So that's a pretty big deal. So here you go. I'm going to tell you this story. So this is like in the whole, like, know your league rules. I'm watching I'm doing the broadcast for the Tout Wars head-to-head points league. Right. And so, okay. All right. So I ran everything through the Tout Wars scoring so I could just take a look at the list. And then somebody nominates Alberto Mondesi, and like immediately on the broadcast, Rodas is like, oh, because we've been talking now about people not like reading their rules, right?
Mm-hmm.
And immediately Adam Rodas says, I'll bet you he was just nominated because we're trying to see who knows the rules of this league and who doesn't. Mm-hmm. And he ends up going up for $13, right? So pretty big deal there. So we're laughing about it. We're talking about it. We're banging the drum of learn your league rules and all of that. And then sometime afterwards, I got it on good authority that the person who nominated Alberto Mondesi did it simply because he wanted to see who was paying attention to the rules and who wasn't paying attention to the rules, because he, in his auction values, had Mondesi at $3. So to see that $10 overpay on that one was, it was pretty funny, man. I was kind of cracking up on that. You don't normally see stuff like that. You don't hear the Tout Wars smack talk happening at all. So it's good to hear that.
Yeah, I'm not in on Mondesi. As many probably aren't. Like, you're only drafting him for steals. Let's be honest. Sure, if he plays a full season and is healthy, he'll give you double-digit homers too, but there's no reason to believe he stays healthy at all. He just can't. And you took the pitcher that I thought I could wait on.
Oh, did I? I'm so sorry. Not
yep.
Really.
Sandoval and his changeup. That was what I wanted.
He drops that in as an out pitch. It's just unbelievable, right?
I love Patrick Sandoval this year. It's a great value for him too.
The perils of drafting with people that you work with on a regular basis, right? We all kind of know each other's favorites and tendencies and go from there.
Yep.
I don't even bother to try and switch it up when I'm here with you, right? Like it is what it is,
Right.
It is what the greatest cliche of all time in sports. So
it's top 5.
It is top 5. So this draft, actually, this one's moving pretty quickly right now, huh? So we're an hour into it, and Colby, we're already here in round 16. That's pretty impressive considering how long some of these drafts take.
Like our first one, yeah, that one took a while, but no, we're cruising. This is nice. I don't wish it would slow down. Don't get me wrong, because I like the pace that we're going at here. But it's always nice and refreshing to have one of these where you kind of get in. Do your business and you get out.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, you're married, so you understand that aspect too. So yeah,
100%.
Welcome to it. Sometimes these are just for me. We also have the advantage of having an auto drafter in here, which is hysterical. Dude, the helium on CJ Abrams, this dude was auto drafted CJ Abrams, who moved way, way, way up the queue here on RT Sports. I was shocked as to how high he moved up the queue. Shocked. Because Hae-Sung Kim looks like he's got, that role for while Tatis is out. Abrams, maybe if he has a good spring and he breaks camp with the team, maybe they look to him maybe at second base. I don't know, but I think Hae-Sung Kim's the one who's got that job right now at shortstop.
I would think so. And yep, Abrams is the flashy play, but teams don't always play the flashy guy right away. So yeah, the helium is real with Abrams. And there's another youngster I think the helium is going to go up to, who has a very real chance of starting in the minor leagues, mainly because one, he doesn't deserve it, but the team is going to send him there anyway. And two, because the team doesn't know what they're doing. He needs to be playing every day from day one. But we'll see if it happens in Pittsburgh with just freakish 18-foot tall shortstop if they end up letting them play every day. We'll see. He's gonna start the year in the minors. It's all but certain with the Pirates brass, but we'll see what happens.
I mean, it makes no sense to start him off in the minors, just given the new CBA and everything. I do worry about O'Neal Cruz though, as a 6'7" shortstop. Like,
he won't last.
No, I mean, you can't. The range is a problem, or it will be a problem. It's just, it takes so. I always talk about Troy Gloss. Remember when he was like the third baseman for the Angels? It was like if he didn't have to if he was like guarding the line, then you knew that shortstop needed like massive range, because anything that came over in between the two was going in for a base hit, because Gloss just didn't have that that spring off of the line. And then it takes him forever to get his glove down on the ground. I mean, it's like you time it. You're like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi. Oh, there he goes. There, he finally reached the floor. He's in the dirt. Trevor Bauer goes off the board. I'll say this, because I don't care about what he did, I care obviously about what he did, and whatever. When it comes to fantasy, I don't care about personal stuff like that. I'm not one of those he's got no morals, so I'm not going to draft him. My problem is that I don't know what the hell they're going to do as far as the suspension goes. I mean, would they call it time served with the 90 games he lost last year, or is he going to come back? And then the question is where's he going to go? Because who wants that circus in their clubhouse? Dodgers don't want him back, right? They're, Dave Roberts was like, "Oh shit, I shouldn't have said that," and he retracted it. And he's like, "Oh no, I didn't mean it." But the Dodgers don't want Bauer back, and what club wants that kind of a big media frenzy? And on top of it, because Bauer's he's an off the wall kind of dude anyway.
Yeah, I'm not drafting much of him just because I don't really want to deal. I don't know what they're going to do this year, kind of like you said with the suspension. I just don't want to deal with all right, so now he's got the commissioner's leave or whatever list he's on, and he's on it till April 17th, and then he's on it till June 1st, and then he's on it to July 7th, and then he's on it to this. I don't want to go through that whole song and dance. I'm just with my current strategy of waiting on a lot of pitching and kind of needing guys who are ready to throw from the beginning to give me 4, 5, 6 reasonable arms on a weekly basis. I can't afford that risk with him. And I mean, one would think there's as likely as a chance that he throws 100+ innings as he doesn't throw a single inning this entire year. You don't know. And anyone who says they know, you don't. Like, there's too many question marks with this whole situation.
Yeah, there are definitely too many question marks. All right, where am I going here with this pick? I'm building up my bench, and oh, Jesus. Yeah, right. Why don't I can't believe that we're sitting here in the what round is this? The 18th round?
18th.
And we're still seeing all of this third base love, right? So I'll take Yohan Moncada, right? Because now it's a matter of now, here's the thing: when you're constructing your roster in these best balls and you're getting your backup hitters, I have Ty France, who's at first and second. I've got Tyler Stevenson, who's at catcher and first. I've got Chris Bryant, who's at first, third in the outfield, right? So I've got all of these multi-position guys who can kind of move around. So when you're building up your depth, you just have to look at what positions you might be, short on. So I probably need a backup shortstop here at some point. And maybe a second catcher, but then I can kind of fill in the rest here with a buttload of pitching.
Yep, I'll probably be doing something similar. Like, again, we talked about knowing your league rules, and that's what it comes down to. Like, I took Seiya Suzuki, and here on RT Sports, he has third base eligibility.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna play third base at all this year, unless Chicago's really in a tough spot. Maybe we see him, but I doubt it. He's gonna be an outfielder, but I can get him here at third base. Sure, I have Machado, but who's very durable, but it doesn't hurt. And like, Suzuki's talented enough; he can be utility or fill in wherever. And I like later on in drafts. I mean, I'm not opposed to it really at any point, but those multi-positional guys are huge, especially in best ball. Like, the more options that you have to get your best players or your best hitters into your lineup is everything. And that's really what it comes down to, especially like outfield. You can move guys around. Like, there's guys later. We probably won't see him drafted here because it's a points-based league, but in like Roto, like Oakland's Tony Kemp, a lot of sites, he's going to give you second base and outfield. Oakland doesn't have anybody. The dude's going to play all the time, and he's just going to accrue some stats.
But come on, how bad does this Oakland team look right now?
True, but
I mean, it's atrocious.
I mean, I called it hogwash earlier. Like,
dude,
that
it's beyond hogwash.
I didn't look for more synonyms past hogwash. I saw hogwash and my eyes just lit up, and I was like, that's it. That's the word of the night. But yeah, it's just the multi-positional is nice. Be careful overvaluing it too, but it definitely can be used in your advantage in best ball.
Right. Oh, who just went? Strasburg, Edmund. Where did my other guy go? I had another guy who I was kind of eyeballing for some extra eligibility, and now I don't see him. So let me just grab like an extra outfielder here. Here's a guy I like a lot, Dylan Carlson, who, I tell you, man, Jim Bowden is raving about Dylan Carlson. I'm hoping that Carlson's like a 20 home run bat with a 10 stolen base, kind of production for me, but while hitting like 265, maybe 270 if I'm lucky. Bowden's like, this kid is like ready to be 2020.
I mean,
like, that's bullish. I like that.
Very bullish, but no reason it can't be done. Why not him?
Why not him? Excellent point there, Colby. Excellent point.
That is the motivation.
All right. So I need, that's why I was looking at the wrong position. Aha. Let's see. Is it time for me to go back to pitching? Where we got here?
As long as it's not the one that I want.
Let me look at the draft board. Let me see. Degrom, Fried, Musgrove, Bassett, Hendrickson, Diaz, Severino, Clevenger, Sandoval. Jeez. Dude.
Not bad.
So that's pretty snazzy, right?
It's fine.
See, snazzy. Better word than hogwash.
No, I don't know about that.
Somebody just took your O'Neal Cruz.
Should have used dapper. That would have been a good word.
Dapper. I find snazzy a little bit better than dapper. Dapper makes me think of that NBA Top Shot scam wallet, like cyber wallet thing that I've lost like a couple of $100 into, because every time I try to withdraw it, it like tells me it's going to take 6 to 8 weeks, and then they ask for all of my banking information and tell me that the Nigerian prince is going to send me an email to tell me when I can expect payment.
Yeah, I get those in the spam all the time from the Nigerian prince who needs my help to get 26,500,000 over, and it's like, you know what? One day one of those waters.
One day I will send him that money.
Yeah.
One day I'm gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna send you your $5,000 so that you can send me back $100,000 when you collect your millions. I'm in for that.
Hey, scared money don't make money. I think that's what they say.
Don't make money.
That's horrible life advice, but
really, oh my Lord. All right, Oscar Wainoa. That's another good solid pitcher I've got. Damn, I tell you, man, I really like this team in comparison to some other best ball. I mean, I've done some pretty good best ball drafts here on RT, but boom chakalaka. This team looks good.
Boy, I love looking at some of these ADP lists too. Like, I'm down in the 5s right now, putting people in the queue that I love. Just like, great value. Add them in there. I still got 6 picks left. Let's make it happen.
Well, again, that's another thing that I think that everybody always forget. When you go into a draft room, right? You go make sure that you scroll through the entire player pool, because what you want to make sure of is that, guys who somehow slip through the cracks and all of a sudden fall down at the bottom of the queue, and people forget about them all the time. Oh shit, you want to talk about forgetting about them? Here's the Tout Wars. We got to stop making Shohei Ohtani a pitcher and a hitter, two separate Ohtanis. You got Ohtani the hitter, and then you got Ohtani the pitcher, and you draft them, but there's only one Ohtani who's in the system, right? So you have to say, all right, it's going to be Ohtani the hitter. And then when somebody wants Ohtani the pitcher, they just have to nominate some scrub at the, some scrub and say, okay, this is actually Ohtani the pitcher. Well, so we're broadcasting the Tout Wars head to head. And Ohtani the hitter goes super early in the auction. And then we're going through it, and it's going over and over. And we start talking to each other on the radio. We're like, did Ohtani the pitcher go yet? Does anybody recall? I'm looking through the list. I'm looking for that scrub name. Rick Wolf and Glenn Colton, they did it in the AL Tout Wars, where they ended up with they put Bartolo Colon as their scrub for Ohtani the pitcher, right?
Nice.
So we're sitting there and we're like, there's no scrub. We don't see any scrub. And as it turns out, everybody forgot about Ohtani the pitcher. And so there it was at the very end. And who was it? Ariel Cohen. Ariel Cohen nominated. He had $1 left. Everybody only had $1 left except for Ryan Hallam, right, from Fantasy Alarm. He had $3 left. He could do max 3 on a guy. So this was the last player that Ariel Cohen nominated, and he nominated Bartolo Colon and said that this was Ohtani, and Hallam immediately went 2, on that. But I mean, it was so Shohei Ohtani, who I think is a top 20 pitcher in fantasy, just went for $2 because everybody forgot about him.
Sounds about right. That's just, hey, good for Hallam. Great buy at the end. That's buy the draft.
That's a sick buy at the end. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely insane. There's no way that should happen, and yet it does. Crazy. All right, where am I going now? I got to go back to some pitching. I got to build that pitching depth even more. Who do I like? Ooh. Hey, don't forget to take Randall Grichuk with one of your last picks.
He's there. I just took Colton Wong, so I'm pretty excited about getting him in the 21st.
Dude, I love Colton Wong. I love him more in Roto. I won't because he costs nothing to get. And it's 15-15, 12-12. You're in that range. I like that a lot. Grichuk traded to the Rockies today.
Yep. Updated his player capsule outlook, whatever terminology we use. It's updated that today. So he's one would think he's going to get every day at bats, and he's with health. And as long as he gets the at bats, he's been a lock for 20, 25 homers every single year. And now he goes to one of the best hitters parks in baseball. So no reason to think he doesn't do it again.
No reason to think he doesn't do it again. I like that call. All right. I am at the risk of possibly losing this player as a deep cut. I'm going to pick him next as long as Cheyenne doesn't take him. I was talking about him on the Fantasy Alarm show the other day. So maybe she knows who I'm talking about. I don't think so, though.
Time will tell.
Kind of far down in the old queue, if you know what I mean.
How far down are we talking?
Mid 300s.
So I got to scroll up.
Oh, look at you down in the dirty area there.
There's some good ones. I'm telling you.
Who?
I love it.
I want to know who. I promise you I'm taking this guy. You can tell me after. Here you go. I'll just take him right there. I'm taking Reed Detmers. Dude's got nasty stuff.
Yeah, I saw you wrote him up in one of your daily roundups. I saw that. Yeah, he looks good. Looks real good.
I like it. Oh, I just got you are up in another league that I'm doing. Dude, I'm doing so many drafts and best balls right now that I'm on the clock at least once or twice an hour.
Isn't it awesome? It's
It
beautiful.
really is. I'm not gonna lie. I absolutely love it.
It is awesome.
I absolutely love it. Who do I want to take?
I can't wait. I can't wait to make one of these next picks.
Oh,
You're not gonna like it. I don't think.
just I'm not gonna like it because I don't like the player.
The track record of said player, and that I'm probably I've drafted him every year, so I have a good excuse to do so. But
is it Keegan Aiken from the Orioles?
No, but we're gonna overreact over a couple of off-season videos and about 3 1/3 spring training innings. We're gonna overreact.
Okay.
Because what could go wrong? What could go wrong with
that? What could possibly go wrong? It's my favorite phrase.
We recorded, I think it was the first episode of the Fantasy Baseball podcast since the spring training games kicked off. And right when we kicked off recording was when Byron Bucks had a single and then stole second base. And I had to immediately interrupt Matt Sells' sentence that I wasn't listening to because I was fascinated by this box score being updated. So it's nothing better than spring training overreactions. The tale is true as time.
Dude, I love that. There are times that that's happened to me. I'll just be like, I just get so caught up in like watching something or like, something will, kind of trigger for me. And then I'll be like, oh shit, I totally forgot what we were talking about. And I wasn't even listening to you.
I had good reason. It was, the potential 2022 MVP was already stealing bases. And I did get a little worried when I saw him rob that, when he made that nice catch into the wall, jumping into it in spring training. Took my breath away for a little bit. I was a little worried, but just a guy as tough and strong as he is, he bounced right off the wall. I think the wall's still dented, but that's not his problem to fix.
Oh man, do I have another pick coming up here? Can I go look at this other team for a second? I think I can look at this other team.
Oh, you got time. I think funky butt loving best ball is taking his time for you so you can make that other pick.
All right, I can dig that. I can definitely dig that. Oh man, where do I want to go in this one here? I think I'm gonna.
Oh, there went Grichuk.
It's not gonna be Grichuk, I'll tell you that.
Oh, he just went here. 23.9.
Oh, did he?
He sure did.
Damn. All right, you know what? Look at that. I'm going to double up. I'm going to take the same player that I took in this draft and see if that does anything for me. Right? Hello, Chris Bassett.
There you go.
I like him at Citi Field. I'm a fan, actually.
He's been so underrated the last couple years. Like, sure, he doesn't boast an elite strikeout rate. Sure, his ERA isn't 2.2, but guy's been legit. He's been good. And now we got to think too, his new digs are much better than what he was going to be in, pitching for the Oakland Hogwashes. Now he gets to go to the Mets with a half decent lineup backing him up. So should be more run support than he would have had otherwise. So I like Bassett a good bit this year.
The Hogwashes.
It's a pretty cool name.
It is actually pretty good. That would be I would like that minor league team, and I'd like that baseball hat. I'd like to see what that logo is.
Yeah, my first thought, take it very literally. It's like, if you live in an apartment complex with the dog wash, but you just got a hog in it and there's just like water spraying the hog from above. I think that would be an option. Or you just go with a hog rolling around in some like manure or something. That would work.
See, I was thinking, well, because it's hog wash, I was thinking you do like the cartoon hog who's like standing up, right? He's got like a towel around his waist. Right, he's got a little like a shower cap on. He's kind of like spritzing himself a little bit.
Oh, see, I thought when you were going with that, you were gonna go like a hog standing up, like in a suit and tie, leaning against a cane with a top hat or something.
Why would he be wearing a top hat and leaning there with a cane?
Because he got all cleaned up. He's a dapper hog.
Yeah, but yeah, well, the whole
He's
washing aspect, you kind of have to see it. I need suds.
I get it. It goes both ways. I don't work in marketing, so.
Welcome to the 24th round, ladies and gentlemen. This is what happens when like all the pitching's been like stripped off the board. I gotta tell you, man, the pitching that I'm looking at it right now is absolutely atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. I wanna take Aaron Ashby so badly. He's got such great stuff, but I think he sits in the bullpen for too much of the year.
Yep. I think you're right. Maybe a spot start here and there, but he needs some help, crack the rotation all the time, or get really where he can like rack up a meaningful amount of points for you.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. All right. So here we go. Last 2 rounds of this draft. It's been an absolute pleasure drafting with you here, Colby.
As always.
How do you, I love my team. How do you like your team? You dig them? You don't dig them?
Yeah. It's really going to come down to, it never really comes down to some of like your bigger names, but for me, it's really going to like are McClanahan and Rodon 1 and 2s. That's what it's going to come down to. If I was able to nail an SP1, SP2 out of those, and maybe Rogers or Molly cracks the SP2 range as well, behind what one would assume comes about from Turner, Acuna, Olsen, and Machado, and all of these offensive powerhouses that I have drafted onto this team. I'm not worried about the offense. It's all going to come down to pitching for this team. And I think there's enough there. I'm going to add I already added a second closer. So I got Kenley Jansen and Gregory Soto. So I got some saves. And then I'm just going to chase an upside arm or 2 here late. Like I took Jesus Luzardo. Can he build upon what he's done? And I'm going to take another spring training hype train arm here as well. So it's going to come down to the pitching for this team. There's no questions about the offense.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I don't think. Yeah, I love your offense. Those first 4 or 5 picks are crazy huge. All right, where do I want to go here? I've got a bunch of multi-position eligibility, so I'm not really worried about that. I don't really need an outfielder, but I really just like the potential here. Oh, you know what? I know who I'm going after. Yeah. I got you. It's buzzing in my ear. I'm gonna take a little Riley Green. Take a little shot on the rookie from Detroit.
Why not?
I can't think of a reason not to.
Yep, they need help. They need all the help they can get offensively. They got a couple good pieces in there, but throw Green in there, and sure, there's a chance he doesn't break camp with the team, even though he should. But I think he's gonna be just fine. I like him a lot, and he's a good upside play here late. And best ball, you got to take those chances. Shoot for the moon.
Why not? And again, because everybody who's in these best balls, it qualifies. It puts you in contention for the overall. Like there's an overall prize here, people. There's a $10,000 prize. So you aren't just doing it to win this one here. You're doing it to also kind of compete in the overall, which is what I'm doing. Which is what I'm looking for. That's why you take a guy like Strasburg in the 21st round, right? You just kind of hope that you get enough starts out of him before he gets hurt again, and he delivers you some killer strikeouts.
Until he gets hurt again. That's a good way to put it.
Until you have to expect it. You have to bake it in his value, right? I'm not looking at taking a guy like Strasburg and thinking, oh, I'm going to get away with something here. This dude's he's not going to get hurt. That's just not realistic.
Yep.
It's just not realistic. All right. So here we go. Well, you went Mitch Keller, Mitchie. Cade Cavalli goes, and here we go. It's the final round. I got to give a shout out to our producer today, John Impemba, who has probably been nodding off with all of this baseball talk. He's either watching the Sweet 16, which I don't even know what's going on in that. Did Arkansas win? Arkansas won. They beat Gonzaga. Villanova wins. I love that. Oh, baby. It's a good day today. It's a good day. Arkansas was getting 9.5 points, Colby.
I had Gonzaga winning my bracket.
Well, I had Kentucky going to the finals.
I had Tennessee in the final as well.
Well, welcome to Shitsville. Population 2.
So here I am, another best ball. What the hell, right? Let's do
Right?
it.
Screw it, man.
Brackets busted, joints of best balls. Let's get ready. Opening day's right around the corner. Let's get a couple more teams, get shares of those players that you don't have enough of yet, and just ride it out. And who knows, contend for the overall championship here on RT Sports for the best ball championship.
Right? For $20, dude, I'm telling you, man, I'm in enough of these now. I'm psyched, man. I'm absolutely psyched. I'm gonna make some good cash by the end of this season because I'm feeling good about these drafts.
One step closer to that yacht.
One team. No. You know how many steps away I am from that yacht? I mean, first of all, dude, I'm married, right? So my wife has an online shopping addiction.
Well, what's the saying? It's what's yours is hers and what's hers is hers.
And what's hers is hers. It's 100% true.
Yep,
it's 100% true. John and Pemba, our illustrious producer here today, he's engaged, so he hasn't taken that full plunge yet, but he knows it's coming.
Yep.
It's coming, and it ain't going to be pretty.
And it comes quick.
Hey, by the way, with this Arkansas win, has anybody checked in on Britt Flynn today to make sure that she hasn't passed out from excitement? No, there we go.
I think I saw her tweeting earlier.
Yeah, I saw her tweeting also.
But that was earlier.
That was earlier. I'll send her a private message. Just be like, hey, are you okay? You alive? How you feeling? Right? Everybody's taking like an hour for these last picks. Why are we using up our clock for our last pick? Colby, your final pick. Who's it going to be?
All I'm going to say, you don't get many opening day starters in round 26. And probably for good reason, if we're being honest.
Yeah, who are you taking? Who's the number one
starter? Hopefully Corbin can bounce back a little bit. What the hell in round 26?
Oh, geez,
that's
dude.
The motto for round 26. What the hell?
That's not a pretty one. That's not a pretty one. I don't know if I would have done that.
You know what the beauty of it is? There's more of these best ball drafts to join, and there's more shares of Corbin to get or not to get.
Yeah. I'll do the not to get. I'll definitely do the not to get. All right, my last. So here you go. Do I go with the upside? Do I go with the veteran? I tell you, I think I'm going to go with the veteran because nobody goes with the veteran, right? Everybody goes for the high upside, the rookie, but I don't know if this kid's going to actually throw a bunch. I think that we'll see what happens when Cheyenne takes her pick here, but everybody's in on Hunter Green, right? But Nick Lodolo is going to be the guy who's going to end up probably getting the call a little sooner. Do I do one of those guys or do I just take Adrian Hauser? It ain't pretty.
There's safety and security.
But yeah, there's some safety and there's some security. No doubt. All right, man. Well, good draft all around here. The final picks are coming, but I don't think we even need to see what these final picks are. Colby, it is, as always, been an absolute pleasure to sit in best ball with you. Appreciate you taking the time to do these live streams and help everybody out.
Absolutely. Anytime. Always looking forward to it. And the good thing is with each passing best ball draft, we're one step closer to opening day.
Exactly. So we'll probably have another one or two of these over the next couple of weeks. You guys can jump in. Just look for the tweets at RotoBuzzGuy for me, at Colby R. Conway for him. Again, big thanks to John and Pemba, and thank you all for taking the time to watch and like and subscribe and all the other fun stuff that goes along with it. So for Colby Conway, I'm Howard Bender. We'll catch you next.